Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome to the show, Green Card Guys. Today's topic is, can I get a job without a work permit in America? Welcome to Green Card Guys TV. I'm your host, John Ting. I practice immigration law in all 50 states of America, helping you solve your immigration problem and maybe even prevent it from happening in the first place. Now, here's the deal, folks. Thanks for joining. Happy to answer any questions. I'll try my best. If it gets too detailed for your specific case, of course, I encourage you to schedule a consultation with our team, which is you can go to our website, greencardguys.com, which, by the way, we do offer free 15-minute consultation. Not everyone qualifies. It just depends on the situation, but we do have, if for some reason our cares team does not schedule you for a consultation, we typically have some kind of PDF, a free guide that can help you. Okay, so today's topic is one of those other big questions that people have and are concerned about, especially. I know there's a lot of law abiding residents, just humans, and want to follow the law, of course, which is great. And if you have any questions, I'll answer that a little bit later. And please post it here. And yeah, so it depends on the pathway, okay, or the case type, the visa path, I guess you could say. So if you're in America and have been living here for many years without status, of course, you have to work. I get it. I totally understand. Of course, conservative folks may not understand that you have to work, even if it's under the table, I guess, without documentation. So that's the big elephant in the room. Okay, you're working. So can I still do that? What happens when I end up getting married, let's say to a resident or a US citizen? Will they ask about it? So it's actually, yes, on the form at least, it's on the 485 application. Have you worked without authorization? Now, you would only file that form in a situation where you're in the US. It shows F2A category if you are the sponsor is a resident, and it shows current, and you have maintained your status. Like, let's say you're here on H-1B, you continue to maintain that status, or you're on L-1 visa, any other non-immigrant visa status, you can have your interview in America. Now, if the the sponsor is a U.S. citizen, then and you enter with a visa as the immigrant beneficiary, yes, you would have to answer that question on that form. You would need to file that form 485. Okay, I-485. And you can find that on uscs.gov, of course. There's actually several questions on that form towards the back that is concerning. But actually, the one, did you work without work authorization, is not the most concerning question. So if you're married to a US citizen, then the law actually waives any prior working without authorization. But the thing is, if your sponsor, your spouse, who is a resident, that does not waive it. Okay. So that's why we've gone live a couple weeks ago about marriage type cases for about a week straight, because there's so many issues related to this, is that it does not waive it if your sponsor is a resident. Okay. So you want to be careful of that, because there's some folks, they're like, I just want to file something, get it on file. And unfortunately, when you file a petition based on a sponsor being a resident, and then later the sponsor becomes a US citizen, you actually have to refile that petition, a new petition completely. Okay. That's what the USCIS regulations are. And so just sharing that so you can here to prevent any future problems and prevent any stress and frustration on that. I do see some questions, so I'll get to that soon. Now, in terms of the employment side here in America, some people ask, well, can I work at all in general? I mean, number one tip on this on the employer side, or for you at least, when they give you a form called I-9. I-9 is a IRS form. IRS? Actually, I think it's Social Security Administration, maybe. Let me look it up real quick. I get those two confused about when it comes to this form. I believe it's IRS. I-9. Yeah, it's with Okay, yeah, it's with the IRS, and it's a document that Human Resources is a department that handles these forms, would ask you to fill it out, and I'll share it with you on the screen. Hopefully, I can do that because you really want to be careful what you fill out, okay, on this website. I'm sorry, on this form. You really cannot. Okay, that's weird. It won't pop up the PDF. Okay, so on YouTube, if you're wondering, if you're on Instagram, thanks for joining. On YouTube and Facebook, I am able to share my screen. So I can't go in full detail advice here in this specific situation, but you probably will understand what I'm about to share with you. This is the type of stuff that most lawyers probably won't discuss because I think it's too hush hush. So, of course, please don't comment on any of the social media platforms if you've been working without authorization, because you might not have been lucky enough to find the right match to get married to a U.S. citizen. Because again, if you're married to a U.S. citizen and filed based on that basis, then your unlawful work in the past is waived. Okay, and let's see here. There's a couple other scenarios, like if you're a applicant for VAWA. Let's see. So I'm sharing on YouTube. Let me make it a little larger. Oops, enlarged the wrong screen. Okay, so hopefully you can see that a bit better. Okay, but in the middle section of this form, it asks you, are you that I attest under penalty of perjury that I am number one, a US citizen of the US, which you would not be if you're watching this channel right now. A number two option or second option, a non-citizen national of the United States, and number three, a lawful permanent resident, and number four, which is probably the most common for y'all out there, if anything, is an alien authorized to work until the expiration date. So that can include people who have TPS, folks that apply for asylum and have a work permit, and then DACA recipients, for example. Uh, by the way, I don't like how they use the word alien. I know a couple Democrats tried to change it a couple years ago, and I don't believe that went anywhere, unfortunately. Let's see here. So, anyways, it does not have a box for undocumented folks. So, you really have to be careful what you fill in there, and or just try not to fill it out at all. You don't want to lie. You should not lie. And most definitely, you do not want to check mark citizen of the United States, because that will bar you from getting any immigration benefit in the future. So sometimes when I have these videos and share with you go live, I have to be like the bearer of bad news because I want you to avoid making a bad mistake. Like, oh, don't think like it's no problem. USCIS or the immigration agencies won't see it. Somehow they'll just get documents randomly. I don't know how, but they can do it. There's a legal process called subpoena. So if they really want to take the extra step legally to get it, they can. But then again, most HR, there's no legal requirement for human resources to submit that document to HR, I mean to IRS. So, but you wouldn't know that if they filed it to IRS, um, unless you ask, I suppose. But let's see here. Let me answer some questions. Hopefully that helps. Give some context. I could talk on and on about this, but yeah, common scenario. Unfortunately, if someone's using a fake social number or using someone else's social number, whatever you're doing, you should stop doing that. Okay, I really recommend that. If you are, don't tell me on social media here if you are or not. Just that's really like a private one-on-one call. Okay, let's see here. Got a couple questions here. Uh, and Naya, you asked, "Hi, why is USCIS asking for a second interview for asylum?" Which, by the way, we have referrals for asylum attorneys, law firms, if you want people that focus on that. Okay, you, if you don't have a lawyer, you probably want one for the second interview at least, so you can prepare for it. But typically, when it's a second interview, maybe something in the facts of the case or the facts of your country of nationality that you fled may have changed, or they think there could be some kind of fraud. That's just being transparent. That also happens for marriage-based cases. Maybe they did like an on-site visit to your home or where you live, and they only saw one of you there, which would make sense. It depends on the day or the hour. I mean, you might both spouses might not be there. Which, hot tip, by the way, you need to have good relations with your stepchildren, especially if they're prone to open the door and not like filter and say, "Hey, dad, hey, mom, there's someone at the door." So you might want to be careful of that. Okay, might have want to. This is a good time to improve relations with stepchildren. I know it's not easy. Um, I mean, I don't have stepchildren, but yeah, just um, yeah, you just don't want a situation. Officer comes and says, "Hey, where's Bob? You know where Bob's at?" And they're like, "Who the heck is that?" Right? I'm sure your relationship is not like that, but anyways, consider that for a moment. Food for thought. Okay, Peter Parker, number one. Is there any way to do this while applying for TPS? I suggest waiting since you're eligible for TPS. It sounds like, and you've applied for it. I would just wait if possible. Okay, I recommend that since you do have that chance to get the actual work permit. Okay, so hopefully that helps. Which, by the way, folks, when you apply for the 765 application and you check mark that you need a social number, um, you might not have known this because it doesn't go in detail in the form to update you, but the USCIS will notify Social Security Administration to mail you a Social Security number. Now, if you already have one from the past and it's valid and legal, then just use that one, right? Okay, but you have to mark it appropriately on the form so the Social Security Administration is not confused. Because the government agencies don't exactly have all the information right in front of them to make to just double check and triple verify. Okay. Let's see here. Question on YouTube. GQ, what's going on? I remember slightly some bit of your information. Good morning. How to request NVC to expedite your interview? DQ'd November 22. Actually, let me see if I can find. I'll have to find the website. There is a website for National Visa Center, and I'll share it after the video or after the live show. And there is a way, okay? But you need to give them some kind of reason, okay? You can't just tell them, "Oh, I've been waiting too long." That's not going to cut it, unfortunately. And Chiku, I think you asked me before, but mandamus lawsuit is not an option for you right now because you just got documentarily qualified last month. Okay, so it's December now, almost January. Hey, who's ready for New Year's? Anyone got plans? You going anywhere? It's just or staying home? By the way, let me know where you're watching from. I'm always interested how far the YouTube channel has reached. Again, if you have any questions, you could drop it here as a comment down below, or you can schedule an appointment on our website, greencardguys.com. Just answer a couple questions, and let me share it with you on YouTube and Facebook. This is how you get to it. Okay, you go to website, greencardguys.com, click on take a quiz. I call it now the text two-step. Okay, folks, if you're in Dallas, like Cranthus, you know about the text two-step. Do I know how to dance text two-step? I guess I got to figure that out now that I'm promoting it this way. But step number one is fill out the what's it called? Answer a couple questions on the form, and then you can self-schedule. Actually, did we take that away? I think it's still there. You can still self-schedule. You should take advantage of it, and then you can get on the waiting list to see if you qualify for free consultation. For better or worse, we've been booked for about a couple weeks, so it's but we really that's why we have 15-minute consultations. If you want a consultation and you know it's going to take longer, we definitely want to answer all questions possible. But there's been a couple people who schedule for 15, but then take like 30 to 45 minutes, and we don't want to be rude. We don't want to be like, we got to get to the next meeting. Like it's really meant to be free for a reason because it points you in the right direction. We understand you might not need a lawyer, might have one already, but we do get a lot of calls about people who are really frustrated, not just with the government, but their own lawyer. Hey, we're not perfect either. We try our best, uh, and we try our best. Hey, Rise of the Phoenix thinks I will answer your question soon. Yeah, I think I was supposed to answer that the other day, and I couldn't go live on that one. You know, kids are finally back in school. They're in school. I'm so happy. But hey, I love it when they come back. I'm waiting for them to come back. Hey, Ivan, nice to see you from Springfield, Massachusetts. Um, Thanks for joining us again. We do have regulars here on the channel, Green Card Guys TV, and just share information. I love to share information all day, every day if I could, but I need to take a break every once in a while. That's what my family says. So thanks for giving me a 1 week break last week. Hope everyone enjoyed their holidays. Um, we're doing a couple new things for next year. Okay, stay tuned. Um, Stay tuned because we're trying to improve our customer service more and more. Again, we're not perfect, but I do think we're one of the premier law firms in terms of customer service. Number one, if you didn't know this already, we answer emails. We answer phone calls. Believe it or not, that's a common thing, a common complaint we get. But not only answer emails, we try to answer them timely. So we like to say 24 hours. We use a yeah, hipster, go ahead, shoot your question. Let me see if I can answer it. Um, what's it called? Yeah, we try our best to respond in 24 hours of email. I know we got the phone device, we got the computer, right here, but we have to time block our schedule. So one of our team was a shared email, so any team member is able to reply. But that doesn't mean we can get your answer within 30 seconds. That's just not realistic because we all have time blocking schedule. That's how we can get things done post pandemic. Okay, hipster, while you ask your question, Ivan, I see you have another. So anyway, that's a couple ways that we offer customer service to get your questions answer your questions during the case processing. Now, AB, what's up? Appreciate it. Appreciate the hearts. If anyone enjoys our lives, please smash the hearts or the likes on YouTube. Greatly appreciate it. That helps with the algorithm to and so if you know anyone that has a question, immigration question, we'll try to point them in the right direction. Please save one of our videos or channels and share it with them. Ivan, you asked, you're a TPS holder. I think I remember that. Appreciate the love. Let's see. You've been living here for 8 years. Okay, gotcha. If you will apply for asylum, okay, how long will it take to get an appointment for interview? Oh, shoot. Ooh, ooh, interview for asylum? Ooh, Ivan, I really hate to disappoint you. In the books, in the legal books, in USCIS policy manual, I believe, um, it's 120 days, if I recall. I don't practice asylum full time. We have a couple cases left, but we really refer those to other attorneys who only focus on asylum. Um, but I believe it's supposed to be 120 days from the time you file it, but that's not realistic. You may know now that well, it was already a problem before Trump changed the policy that it was last in, first out. So the more recent people who applied were the ones that are going to get an interview sooner, which doesn't make sense because you still have those other folks backlogged, right? So that's one case type that we file lawsuit on because a lot of people that we know have legitimate claims. Now, unfortunately, your truthful claim of asylum, the reason you left your country, might not meet the standard for asylum law in America, and we feel bad. We honestly feel bad. We talk about it as a team and other attorneys if someone who's seeking asylum wants to file mandamus, but you're providing truthful information. So, and y'all are in limbo, just waiting and waiting for so many years. Some people have called us and said they waited for 6 years. 4 to 6 years is typically the situation. So, feel bad for y'all in that situation, but you don't want to wait that long because You don't want to wait that long because the law in your country could change. I'll just give you one example. I'm not saying you shouldn't file, but like for example, China used to have the one child policy, and I believe that changed in 2016. So anyone that entered before and had that claim, not to say that if you had to go back to China, for example, that the government won't do anything to you, but the U.S. government will most likely, can't say for U.S. yes, but most likely say, well, China changed the policy, so you should be fine. Like, of course, that's a visa, immigration officer not knowing, right? They're just looking at paper. They don't know the realistic situation. Um, so, anyways, I think I went on tangent for a bit, but let me see. Uh, okay, hipster, I see your question, but I have one right before that one. Yeah, I'm happy to share information based on topic for today. You want to know what options are available for ITIN holder, which you're aware doesn't provide benefits like or EAD. So yes, I mean people ask in general, at least in Texas, it's very easy. It's not as restrictive to open a LLC or something. So some people need to do that. You need an ITIN number, tax ID number, which you can get online at irs.gov. And you should be able to get it instantaneously. Sometimes as soon as you apply. Sometimes it doesn't do that. Like they have, I don't know, something tech error, I guess you could say. But it might not give it to you that day. I don't know. I don't know. That's not really the question. Well, that's one option, I guess. Hopefully that for Look Alive 03. But most HRs don't even ask you to fill out the I-9. Surprisingly, okay. Of course, corporate jobs will ask you to do that, but maybe like a restaurant type job might not ask you. So I don't know if that's the kind of answer you're looking for. Look Alive, but hopefully that pointed you a bit of the right direction. Hipster, OnlyFans does only let's just call OF for those folks that don't know because I don't want to explain unless you want to on the live. Does having OF subscription bad on immigration? Would it indicate like something being faithful or not faithful to your spouse? Um, I see you have two questions. Okay, I don't see how they would know unless your spouse shares that information. If your spouse knows about it, but I don't know how I don't know how it works. But I don't know if it's an app or something. But if there's an app on your phone, then you probably should delete it before, especially before the interview. I was assuming it's like just some kind of membership site. I don't dare going to that website, because we don't have passwords on any of our. Anyway, so maybe I should though, for security purposes. Yeah, I don't think that's going to be a negative for immigration just because you have subscription to that. I mean, even if you had subscription to other type of subscription on that line, that doesn't necessarily mean that. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying because a lot of people will consider that to be cheating. Okay, so but in USCIS, the legal perspective, I'd focus on if you had a lawyer, what we do is number one, not allow them to see your phone. But number two is that we ask the officer to focus on preponderance of the evidence. Okay. Anything negative, we air it out, not willingly, only if they ask, of course. Any crimes, things like that. We mentioned that in the beginning. That's all part of the documentation. And then we talk about the positives. So we talk about documentation of the marriage case. Okay, it's preponderance of the evidence. So if you've been watching like, shows, movies about movies on what's it called? TV. I don't even know what you call it. I haven't gone to a movie theater in a long time. I've been doing these lives, which I love to do, by the way. Love sharing information, help you prevent your immigration problem. So, anyways, the documentation is a standard. So if you watch the shows like criminal trials, the standard is higher. It's called beyond a reasonable doubt. They have to show an X amount of evidence to show that okay, this person committed the crime. In immigration, it's a civil law. So it's preponderance of evidence. In the middle, it's called clear and convincing evidence. Little tidbits that I've learned in law school. So, anyways, that's what we tell the government. Look, we don't need 100-page stack of evidence to show you. In fact, these officers don't want that. They actually want less. They just want it succinct. Okay, like look, if you're gonna give like half those pages are gonna be your photos, they're gonna suspect something. Okay, I try to read stories, of course. When I say stories, I mean Department of Justice press releases or FBI, like in regards to immigration. And there was a story a couple years ago where a local Houston lawyer was charged for conspiring to help people with a marriage fraud. But the problem was, I think, is that she accepted cases from people that she should not accept the cases for. It's like a middle person, I guess you can say. And probably didn't, even if he or she had checked the documents properly, it's probably gonna it like tax returns. I would imagine I don't work with IRS, so it'd be difficult. So if you're gonna do a marriage fraud case, do it on your own. Don't try to get another lawyer involved, please. It's just difficult. It's hard for us. We try our best as a team to figure out if it is anything fake or, I mean, if it's real, of course, but it can be hard for a lawyer. So if you got a marriage, fake marriage, don't get a lawyer involved. Okay, please do us a favor. Do it on your own. And because number one, even before that, don't file a fake marriage case to begin with. Okay, there's no waiver. Okay, there could be other people that say there is a waiver. There's none. And you might think, oh, can I file a new case? Like I get divorced from the first person, and that was fake. Can I get married to a new person, and that person that's a real one? Like this is the one. It's the right match. No, it's not going to work. Not going to work because USCIS is going to deny the second case also because they said, let's talk about the first case. Where's the evidence for that to overcome the marriage fraud finding? Okay. So, another real hot tip here, if you have just a thought to do a fake marriage case, don't do it, please. Do yourself a favor. Okay. A couple more questions that I got to jump off and do team meetings. Hipster are as residents, should we voice out thoughts on political issues? On my personal Facebook page, I have reduced my consumption on Facebook. I'm a bit more on TikTok, as you might know, because I have to share information on there. And I don't know. I always try to think on social media wise, like energy, vibes. I want to put out positive vibes, whether it's about law firm, helping other lawyers, helping you prevent immigration problems, solve immigration problems. I always try to show positive vibes, display that, right? I don't know. I think, unfortunately, some people need political information, right? I used to do it where I email people directly, the old school way, and I think I should get back to doing that actually. So I guess yeah, this is not a dictatorship. This is free speech, right? America, First Amendment rights. You can post whatever you want. I'm just more about the good vibes. So I don't know. It just tends to be negative vibes, unfortunately, every time. Maybe not every time, but when you put out political stuff. So just hopefully that helps you personally, hipster, on that note. But in terms of contacting your elected official, yes, you don't have to be a citizen to contact your elected official. I don't recommend that on social media. I always also try to think, in addition to positive vibes, what is the result you want to get? Are you going to be able to get the result by saying something on Twitter or Facebook to that particular elected official? Probably not. That's probably not the best way to encourage them to get on your side on an issue. Honestly, that's the same thing I think about when people protest at the elected official's house. It's a private home, you know. Um, yeah. Which, by the way, speaking of that, I heard that Texas governor Greg Abbott sent a bus of migrants to Kamala Harris's house. Yeah, I just think that's bad taste. That's ridiculous. From politician to politician, that's just bad taste. So, anyways, hipster, happy to help. It's same as gentleman's club membership. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Let's see, Ivan. Your question, Ivan. So, if TPS holder before gets status overstayed a visa for more than 180 days, then doesn't mean that a person has no chance or any chance to adjust their status through employment. Um, have you talked to our team, by the way, Ivan? We're happy to answer more detail for you after getting more facts. I know through the times, Ivan, you've shared some bits of information about your immigration history. So I'm sorry if I don't remember completely. Okay, because you entered on advanced pro and it's not lawfully admitted. So it about that part, Ivan, there's a common question that people have. It actually is considered TPS entering back on TPS with advanced parole is considered legally inspected admitted. Okay, for to meet the INA 245A, okay, of the law. So thank you for the question. But if it's only having what's it called? TPS only, then that's not legally inspected because you didn't have to travel. You didn't travel at all, right? Or if you only had TPS and AP advanced parole but did not travel and come back, that doesn't count. That's legally inspected and admitted. You basically have to cross the border with the AP. So hopefully that makes a difference in what you're thinking, Ivan. But we do have videos that talk more in depth. It is possible to answer your question, Ivan. To the bigger question, it is possible to get visa like H-1B um, or what's it called, residency through employment. Okay, but it could be a long journey for you. Okay. By the way, folks, if you are here, I guess whether you're a college student or you're not in college anymore, you have a degree, you can, and you have an employer that's willing to sponsor you for H-1B. The registration period is coming up soon. Okay, that is in March, first week of March typically. And even if you get selected in the registration, that doesn't mean you get guaranteed for the actual approval, which usually comes like later in the year, in the summer, usually the summertime. Okay, so it is a bit more complex for people who don't have status currently to apply for H-1B. It's more detailed, specific to your situation, but it is possible. It may depend how many days of unlawful status you've had. And if you have had more than 180 days of unlawful status, then if you have a qualifying relative for a waiver. So timing is important on a lot of things immigration related. We get a lot of calls and a lot of y'all just sitting on your butt. Our team tries to do a good job, just, text message here or phone call here. You told us, you want to get started in your case. We understand budget is important, but ultimately the more time you wait might affect your case actually. So keep that in mind. Okay. We can't call everyone to tell people that. It's up to you to, there's many things I learned during the pandemic. One main thing related to immigration, actually any humans, okay, during pandemic, is that we can't sit on our butts anymore. Okay, we got to take action. Whether it's about spending time with family, being more specific in what type of work you want to do. I ask my team members all the time. Every time we have a performance review, is this the type of job you want? Like, we really try our best. Am I a good boss? I ask them all the time. Am I a good boss? Am I a good leader? Am I a good supervisor? Because I want to provide them a great workplace to live. Anyway, that's what I learned. Take action. Okay. Of course, get the educated information first, which That's what you're doing. You're on the show. Thank you for joining Green Card Guys TV. Appreciate it. Ivan, okay, off my rant, off my little lesson that I want to share. Okay, Ivan, you have TPS and advanced parole. I don't understand if I can adjust status to employment. Yeah, it just depends on. It sounds like you did not file for asylum. I couldn't remember if you did before. Okay, you wrote above. You were thinking about it if you will apply for asylum. Well, at this point, it's probably too late because you're here for 8 years. You could file the application, Ivan, 589, but it's not going to be considered asylum, even though it does say it on the top right. It'll say application for asylum or withholding or removal. So, which, by the way, if you're watching from outside the U.S. and you're thinking about applying for asylum, you need to apply within 1 year of your entry date. So if you come in January 1st, 2023, you need to file before December 31st, 2023. Okay? Because otherwise, it's going to be considered withholding removal application and you don't get the work permit. Okay? For Ivan, you already have the work permit through TPS, so that's fine. But the other benefit of applying for asylum is stopping the unlawful presence, even though you're here, overstayed your visa most likely. Um, so if you're going to apply, I actually recommend way before the 1 year mark. I recommend before the 6 month mark to just cross all the T's and dot the I's. Okay, they have a more perfect scenario for you. Okay. Um, and me. So hopefully, Ivan, I answer your question. So yeah, that's just way more detail. We're happy to answer, Ivan. You just unlock those free 15 minutes. One of our team members can chat with you about it. Okay, because it does appear it will be a long journey for you. Okay, in terms of getting residency. Okay, Emmy, how much do I approximately charge for E2 um, application? Do you deal with all aspects? We get that question a lot, not really just about pricing, but do we deal with all aspects of the application, including business plan, reviewing commercial agreement? Most lawyers don't. We review the business plan, of course, to help you, but to guide you, but we don't create the business plan. And a lot of people that call us are looking for solutions. Okay. You're looking for a solution. And sometimes E2 is a solution for a lot of people, actually. But, of course, if folks don't have the business background, you're going to have to watch a lot of YouTube videos or something to get up to speed, watch a lot of classes because business plan is important. That allows the government to understand your trajectory, what's your potential, what are you trying to aim for, how are you going to create jobs, even though there's no legal requirement for E2 to create jobs. But we don't create the business plan. We do review it with you, but that's not standard for law firms. It depends what plan you select. Thank you for considering us. We do offer 3 different plans, really to provide the most benefits possible, but that comes higher. I think our fees range from, I have to check. You have to call in because then the team can share with you because we do update once a year at least. And I don't want to say the wrong thing, but usually it ranges between like 5 to 6, 7,000, I believe, maybe even up to 8. Just depends on the level of service. Okay, so check that out. Of course, the max services have the most attorney's fees, which most people like because you want every single service. But we get calls about people that say like, I just want the bare minimum. Then if you just want us to help file it, for example, we call that the light plan. Of course, we still do our quality control check in that sense, but the light plans don't have any like customer service on the back end of it, which gives you that benefit because it does cost more for our team to spend time in your case, and we want to provide that option. Most law firms only have one option, and I guess they think that's making it easier for y'all, but I know we've been getting a lot of calls saying, what about this? What about that? What about prepping for interview? That's included in our pro and max plan. So that kind of give you an idea. Which, by the way, MEKH, you can be in the US. Let's say you're on a visitor visa and then submit a change of status application uh, or as part of your E2 application, you can check mark change of status. Okay, so that's possible. I do recommend filing for premium processing. That is $2,500. So yeah, that Costs more money, but you can get a decision or a request for more information, more evidence by what do you call 2 weeks, more maybe 3 weeks. Okay, 15 business days is what they say that USCIS can respond to you. All right, so anyway, Emmy, you already know that you want the quote, so go ahead and contact our team. Our phone number is down below. Since you're on Instagram, folks, if you're on YouTube, you can find our number right above here. And we don't want to waste time, folks. If you already know you want a lawyer and are considering our service, really grateful. There's so many lawyers out there. We know that if you hire us, that we're invested in your case, your future. So we put the way we do. If you're just joining now, we have a shared email inbox, so you don't have to email every single team member. Like, think about how annoying that could be. Like, I need to know who is actually working my case. Yeah, it'd be great for you to know, of course. We need to do a better job of notifying y'all who's actually working our case. But we do have an onboarding call the same day you pay a deposit, and we have a shared email. So you don't have to guess who to include in the email. Okay. Just one. Make it easy for you. Okay, folks. So let's see here. I have a team meeting very soon, but let me make sure I answer all the questions. And thank you so much for giving us time off last week. Apologize I couldn't get on live. Had to spend more time as a dad. So again, I learned something. I got to spend more time with the family. Spend more time in the family and take action on that. Right. So just same for you. If you have been waiting and waiting, especially for if you have an active removal case, and right now with how politics is, I hate to say, President Biden could change how prosecutorial discretion is. He could make it. He could make it worse. But right now, it's on the best situation possible in the history I've known immigration law. Okay, so it also includes people who have passed removal orders. Okay, so anyways, if you have concerns about that, whether you have an old case or not, Department of Homeland Security is taking much longer for people who have an old case that it's already been order removed. But if you have an active case, it is possible to get your case dismissed. But you have to watch our other videos about it. And I'm going to answer one more question, Claire. There you are. What's going on? Um, yeah, happy to answer for you right on the spot. Is entering U.S. under visa waiver program considered not being admitted legally in the country? Yes, let me rephrase my response. It is considered legally admitted and inspected, actually. You don't have to have the physical document. And the reason why is because we focus on something for documentation wise, the I-94. Okay, it's electronic for the past like 10 years, I believe. Which it's on the customs website, cbp.gov, I believe. So hopefully that answered your question. Let me see if I can find it. Because I like to share the legal source if I can. ESTA visa waiver admission. Let's see. Sometimes it's not as easy to get it on. I think, yeah, USCIS policy manual admission 45A policy manual. Okay, that's just repeating myself. Let me see if it shows it. Oh, sorry, it's taking a bit of time. Want to make sure, but yeah, we've had clients who entered on ESTA visa waiver and got approved. Let's see. Control Find is my best friend. Well, some reason I can't find it now. But yeah, that's very important for y'all to know. But this is what I'm looking at right now. Oh, that didn't change what I was looking at. Okay, so this is the page I'm looking at. Hey, appreciate fam. Thanks for joining live. Shout out to y'all. Happy holidays to everyone. Happy New Year. Okay, don't stress out. Take some time off. Spend time with family. And I'm saying all that while I'm live. So, anyways, Claire, it is there. It's just not on this specific page, but I'll ask a team member to try to find it for you. Okay. Maybe it's tucked in this little section of footnote 8. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, I can't find it right now, but alrighty. Well, let's see. Appreciate the follow, waving at you. Okay. All right, folks. It's okay, you believe me. Thanks, Claire. But I do love to share. I do love sharing the source, so I'll get that to you. And now I need to record a video about it because I know actually we got a call the other day, Saturday. Someone, yeah, Esther. So yeah, we can help you, folks. All right, folks. Have a great day, and again, don't work too hard. Okay, take care. Talk to you soon. See you tomorrow.